the settings just a little because a couple of you told me that the volume was a little low on my last video. That's a little bit better, I think. Go up just a little bit. Anyway, okay, so welcome back to my channel. I have an unsolved case for you tonight, and I have been sitting on this one because I've been trying to find out more information, but it just seems like that's not going to happen. So I thought I would let you guys be frustrated with me. It's about the case, but it's also about the people involved in the case. My hair be looking seriously funny today. Whatever. You're not looking at me anyway. So, this is the case of Jessica Easterly. And I don't even remember where I heard about this, but it really just... Okay, let me tell you about the case before I tell you why it made me mad. Jessica Easterly was 43 when she went missing. She was born August 17th, 1976. Her teenage years she spent living in Ocean Springs. She graduated from Ocean Springs High School in 1994. She would later get an undergraduate degree from the University of South Alabama, where she focused on subjects in audiology and speech pathology. Of Jessica's life interests, the greatest that she had was her insatiable need for reading. For Jessica, life would be explored through the avenues of typed pages long before she discovered high heels and lipstick. Her innate talent for fashion and design. Her friends often commented that a makeover by Jessica would be a perfect makeover, making that girl's night out memorable and special. She had a love of her family's traditions, the holidays, the Christmas song, Santa Baby, sung by Marilyn Monroe. This was apparently her favorite actress of that era. She was described as having quick wit, unforgettable laughter, and a beautiful smile. I read so many articles on this case, and in them, Jessica's sister is either called Audra or Audrey, and I'm not sure exactly which it is. She does call herself Audra on the website that she has about this case, so I'm gonna try to call her Audra, but in some of my notes she might be Audrey, so I apologize. They spent hours on the phone with each other, talking, watching reality TV. When their schedules got crazy, they swapped long Facebook messages back and forth that apparently included song lyrics or hashtags with powerful words and phrases to lift each other up. The sisters, who grew up mostly in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, now lived separately in different states. Jessica in New Orleans, Louisiana, and Audra in Biloxi, Mississippi. So they really relied on these phone calls to stay connected. Audra said, "We could talk about anything for hours." She was just so happy-go-lucky, just 2 days before she disappeared in August of 2019. Maria was at home in Alabama on August 12th when she missed a call from Jessica. And then she missed a second call, and then a third. When the two finally connected a few minutes later, Jessica asked Maria to come pick her up at the house she shared with her husband and stepdaughter in New Orleans. According to Jessica's sister, Jessica told Maria that she was ready to leave Justin. She was tired of his antics, tired of him hitting her. She said that she'd had enough and realized she deserved better. She had made up her mind and she was ready to start over. Obviously, there's no proof that she actually said any of that, and I really could not find anything about Jessica's relationship with Justin. Nothing. I didn't find out how they met. I didn't find out how long they'd been married. Anything. And I hate that. Y'all know I need to know that stuff. Anyway, Maria says Jessica did not go into specifics, only that she needed to leave quickly. But it was a 2-hour drive from where Maria lived to where Jessica lived, and Maria didn't have anything set up to get her children from school. So the two put a plan in motion for Maria to pick Jessica up the next morning. But the last time Maria heard from Jessica, it was a text message that read, "Okay, just hang on. I don't know what's going to happen when I get home." So 2 days go by, and Maria has not heard anything from Jessica, which is pretty unusual for these girls that talk all the time. And it rolls around to about 9 p.m. on the 14th of August when Maria gets a message from Jessica's Facebook account. But it's not Jessica, it's Justin. And he says, "Is Jess with you? Grace and I are worried." Grace is Justin's daughter and Jessica's stepdaughter, and according to those around her, Jessica and Grace had a really close bond. Maria told reporters that when she read that message, her whole body just went cold. She knew right then something terrible had happened to Jessica. In a flurry of frantic messages, Jessica's husband tells Maria that he'd last spoken to Jessica around noon that day, and she'd laid down for a nap, and he had left the house, I think, to go to the grocery store. I didn't note it. And when he got back, she was gone, but she left everything behind. Cell phone, car keys, money, her driver's license, everything. And Justin is freaking out, and he says, "I'm about to go full out on social media and with every other asset I have to find my wife. I have a child that is throwing up that needs to know that her mother is okay." I took that as Grace was really stressed that they didn't know where she was, but maybe she was just sick. I couldn't really find much about her, and she's a child, so I don't really want to put her out on YouTube. At this point, Maria calls the New Orleans Police Department to perform a welfare check on Jessica's house. I was a little curious as to why she did that, because she's already talked to Justin. She already knows that Jessica's not there. She already knows that the police are not going to find her. But I think that maybe that is what made Justin then file a missing persons report. Several days go by with nothing. Jessica's 43rd birthday on August 17th came and went, and this is when her sister said she really started to get worried because they always talk on her birthday. They always call each other. They always talk, and Audra said I called her and I didn't get an answer, and I thought maybe she was just out. I found it strange that her family didn't know she was missing at this point. That's very guess I should have known something was wrong, and I didn't. I didn't think this could ever happen. I should have brought water. On August 22nd, 1 week after Jessica was last seen, Audra, their other sister Amanda, and a cousin traveled to New Orleans to speak with detectives at the New Orleans Police Department. But before they go there, they decide they're just going to have a look around Jessica's Lakeview neighborhood to kind of scout out places so that they could organize a search party, which I couldn't find any proof that the police had done before now, and it's been a week, and that's bananas to me. Whatever. I felt like they weren't doing anything. Audra says they were driving around the neighborhood when a foul smell prompted them to get out of the car and search on foot. And it was Audra who made the horrific discovery. Along the tree line of a wooded area of City Park, near the intersection of Orleans Avenue and Kenilworth Street, roughly 2 blocks from Jessica's house, was a body. It had on a black tank top, black shorts, and black shoes. Audra says, I was devastated. I knew right away that it was her, and I just couldn't believe this was happening. She called the police, and they launch an investigation. But it would be 3 months before Jessica's body was identified. On November 8th, the body was positively identified as Jessica Easterly Durning. Jessica's family believes that foul play was involved in her death, and that her body had been placed where it was found. A spokesperson for the New Orleans Police Department says, this case is open and active and being investigated. Jessica's stepfather says, this would not have taken as long as it has had she not laid out in the New Orleans sun for a week and a half before she was found. That is what made the autopsy so difficult. The fact that she was there, everything points to the fact that she was dumped there. She did not die there. Rick added his stepdaughter was a good woman who made close friends that she kept for life. And he was crying in the interview that I saw when he said, she shouldn't be dead right now. Weirdly, as I researched this case, in December of 2019, I discovered that Justin created not 1, but 2 GoFundMe accounts asking to help pay for Jessica's funeral. He did one under Jessica's legal name, and the other is a name that they used for their adult content, which I literally could not find anything about, but apparently she went by Vivian. I don't know if that meant they had something like OnlyFans. I don't think OnlyFans existed back in 2019. I don't know what kind of content they were putting out. I mean, I have a pretty good idea, but I didn't want to dive too deep into that, y'all, because then goodness knows what would be on my computer. But regardless, no judgment, whatever. Justin said on the GoFundMe accounts that, and this is what I found weird other than the fact that he created 2, if you donate, you will get exclusive pictures, videos, lingerie, and even shoes. So if people give you money to fund her funeral, you will give people her items. That's just weird, dude. Weird. So, she was positively identified in November of 2019. 2 more months go by before her family receives the autopsy report. January 15th of 2020. According to the New Orleans Parish Coroner's Office spokesperson, fracture of her jaw, a broken nose, a broken rib, and a broken C4 vertebrae. If you don't know anything about vertebrae, the C section is in your neck. C4 is not that far from your skull. However, in the report that was signed on January 8th, the pathologist did not address how they believed that these injuries might have happened. Additionally, a toxicology exam revealed the presence of various substances, including medications, but they don't narrow these down as any driving factor in Jessica's death. The coroner's office classified both the cause and the manner of Jessica's death as undetermined. Now, in general, the cause of death describes the illness or injury that killed a person, and the manner describes whether the person died naturally or as a result of homicide, suicide, or an accident. I looked up that definition because I was like, wait, cause and manner? So I wanted to explain it to you guys too, because I've never heard it put that way. The New Orleans Parish Coroner's Office released a statement about Jessica's death saying, advanced changes of decomposition can make determination of cause and manner of death difficult, as it did in this case. Due to the decomposition technology, toxicology testing was limited to liver tissue, which did test positive for methamphetamine and bupropion. However, it is unclear that these results reflect recent intake, and a drug-related death cannot be ruled out. Drug-related, but she had a broken neck, and a broken nose, and broken ribs, and a broken jaw. I don't think so. A NOLA PD spokesperson said that Jessica's case remains unclassified and is not currently classified as a homicide. Again, the case is open and active, they said. Now, after the autopsy report is released on January 24th of 2020, Jessica's stepfather Rick and sister Audra go back to New Orleans to meet with detectives, and they are told that this is now a cold case. Later that same day, Justin is detained for a 24-hour observation phase after a woman in a bar, also named Jessica, is approached and given a note from Justin. She said that he was acting crazy, and he told her his wife's name was Jessica, and that she committed suicide. He goes to this woman and he insists that she takes all of Jessica's clothes, and this woman's coworker recognized his name from posts about Jessica's death. I thought that was so weird. Like, maybe he just wanted that stuff out of his house, but to just give it all to a stranger also named Jessica. On March 15th of 2020, a couple in the Lakeview neighborhood contacts Audra and tells her that they found Jessica's ID card and a blanket. Now, Justin previously told us that this was at the house, so why is it out in a neighborhood? Audra calls detectives and tell them what this couple found just 15 yards from where Jessica was found. And the detective says, oh yeah, I'll talk to him about where they found it. Months go by, and Audra calls the couple to follow up, and they tell her no one has contacted them, nor has there been any police presence in the area where they found these items. So Audrey files a formal complaint against the Public Integrity Bureau, claiming that authorities never followed up on Jessica's wallet and identification near the crime scene. The family really advocated for Jessica, and they ultimately caught the attention of the Orleans Parish District Attorney, received over 20,000 signatures in an online petition pushing for re-examination of Jessica's case. He said that he was absolutely willing to meet with her family to discuss this matter, that he was committed to re-examining this case with fresh eyes, reviewing all the facts and evidence involved. He was dedicated to seeking justice. As I said before, her family really believes that she was murdered and her body was dumped there. No arrests have been made in this case. Court records show that Justin was previously arrested on unrelated charges of assault, unlawful possession of a firearm, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and probation violation, and domestic violence. But he has not been named a suspect in Jessica's case. Audra says that her family continues to wait on forensic reports after authorities obtained a bed and a headboard that was thrown out of Jessica's house after she passed. Now, it's been years, y'all, so I don't understand what the holdup is, but February 2nd, 2021, 2 years later, well, almost 2 years, the coroner finally releases Jessica's body to her family after they could not get a hold of Justin. She spent an unbelievable 530 days in the morgue. I could not get my head around that. What? Her family and friends are left with so many unanswered questions. Maria says their phone calls filled a place in her heart that's empty now. I can't believe she's gone. We're not giving up on her. We are not backing down. And we will get justice for Jessica. It is what she deserves. Jessica's family and friends continue to rally for justice for Jessica, who, like I said, they described as an outgoing, fun, beautiful person who could always put a smile on your face. Her sister, Audra, maintains a website dedicated to Jessica's case, and she has kept their love of hashtags going with the most important one of all. #Justice for Jessica. She was just such a beautiful person, Audra said. I never met anyone that had anything bad to say about Jessica. She was a good friend, a great sister, and I cannot believe she's gone. However she got in that place, someone knows, and that person knows how Jessica died. It needs to be brought to light, and they need to come forward and put this thing to rest. The family asks anyone with tips, no matter how small, to contact the New Orleans Police Department. Anyone with any information about this case should contact the 3rd District at 504-658-6030 or call anonymously and toll-free at 1-877-903-7687. I will put both of those numbers in the description box down below. Okay, let's just discuss for a second. This case really reminded me of the Alonzo Brooks case, where his family just found him. But at least in his case, there was like proof that the police had been investigating in that area, and he just appeared there. I could cover that case. We could go on about that, but in this case, I really felt like the police just really weren't doing anything until disagreement with Justin, and that he did something to her, and he dumped her out there. I don't know. I don't have any explanation for whether Grace saw anything or if she was there. I feel like there's no way she could have been because she couldn't be very old. That's just an assumption I'm making, but I feel like she would have said something, especially because she had such a close bond with Jessica. And I am extremely sorry that she had to lose her stepmom in this way, because I can't imagine, especially if they had such a close bond. What amazes me about the whole thing is we're still waiting on forensics. We're still waiting on all of these things, and it's been years. That's just like, do they know what they're doing down there in New Orleans? You can't tell me this is the only murder that's ever happened there, because I know that's not true. I just think it's not a focus of the police. It's not a focus, so they're not really doing anything about it. The files are probably in a box somewhere, really collecting dust. But it's absolutely crazy to me that they've not been processed. Like, you just let samples sit in the lab. No, that's not how things work. So, like I said, I was holding on to this, kind of hoping that more things would be revealed, but they have not been. So, if they ever are, I will give you an update on this case. I mean, I feel like it's strange that they didn't just spray some luminol on the headboard, because that would be a pretty obvious sign that something had happened. I mean, she didn't have a head wound, but still, I don't know. Something's not right, y'all. Anyway, please comment down below and let me know what you think of this case. Do you think Justin did it, or do you think it was something else? I found it weird that he said her wallet was at home and then the wallet was found in the park. Like, did he ditch it later? Did they not? It was 15 yards. Did they not investigate? No, they didn't. Never mind. I don't know. Everything about this case is absolutely weird to me. Let me know what you think down below, and I will see you guys for the midweek video. Actually, that'll probably be Sean. We really need to sit down and film the vlog of our vacation before we forget all the funny details, but we just really haven't had time. Anyway, thanks guys.